Dan.
Hi, Emily.
You want to talk about a biome?
Yes, I do. I think the temperate grassland would be pretty cool to talk about.
Yeah. All temperate grasslands are outside the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer.
That's pretty cool.
Fun fact, it's on 6 out of the 7 continents.
Wow.
Guess what continent it's not on?
Africa,
They don't actually
No.
eat prairie dogs, though.
It's
They just like the
Antarctica.
bugs. Like,
because nothing grows there. Makes sense. Got it. I knew that.
eat bigger mammals. They just like
I'm doing so well in biology right
prairie
now.
dogs.
Anyways, so what do you think the climate's like there? Because I've never been to one. I really don't know.
Dan, you live in one.
This is a grassland.
Yes. The millions of Dakotas and the temperate
all the way down to South America.
Oh, so that kind of explains why there's very extreme, drastic
Bright
changes throughout the
yellow
year.
eyes,
Mm-hmm.
white
Why the winter's so
eyebrows,
cold and the summer's so hot.
I suppose the animals that live there have to be pretty hardy to go through all that.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can get down to like -40 in the winters in temperate grasslands, can't they?
Mm-hmm. Person never seen -40, but I'm sure can get down that part. In
They're
the
all over
summers,
the
it's like
world, so
100, and
not
it's
just
like,
us.
oh my god, I'm gonna die.
We'll die, Emily. We need to finish this science project. Anyways, why don't we go look at some graphs?
Some abiotic factors of the temperate grassland are the sun, rocks, soil, water, rain, wildfires, the heat, and the cold.
This is so much fun.
We are now going to talk about biotic factors. We have both animals and plants. He's going to do plants, I'm going to do animals.
I like grass.
That's very nice fact, Dan.
Okay.
So the first animal we're going to talk about is the black-tailed prairie dog. They are tan little animals with black on the ends of their tail. The gestation period is 33 to 38 days, and they all live together in one big burrow, and it's really complex and they have all these tunnels. And then they like to eat grass, flowers, seeds, roots, and bugs. Bugs are great too.
You.
Some habits they have is they like to chirp, like bugs, like the bugs they eat. And some interesting facts about them is that there used to be 1 billion of these little things, and now their population has dropped over 95%. And they're one of the keystone species, so they're necessary for the environment. Now we have the black-footed ferret. They like to eat prairie dogs for lunch.
I like prairie dogs. They're cute.
It's just the way it is.
Nature.
They're tan with black legs and feet. Their gestation is 41 to 43 days. And in for the family life, their kits are born helpless, and they live with their mom for the first 2 months, and they stay in the burrow. And then they go hunting with the mom, and then they're separated into different burrows. And then they're completely weaned at 5 to 6 months. They spend about 90% of their time below ground, and they're nocturnal animals, so they only come out at night. And 90% of their diet's prairie dogs, as I said before. The poor little prairie dogs. And sometimes they have some other small animals like rabbits. And they have about a 3 to 4 year lifespan in the wild. More animals.
Animals.
Now we have the bison.
Its scientific name is the bison. No one pointed that out. That is just too cool. I'm sorry. It's just really
Do you
cool.
want me to call you Stan?
Never mind.
So bison are 5 feet tall, they're tan, and they have sharp horns and they can run up to 40 miles an hour. Don't ever get in the way of the bison, you're going to die. Well, highly likely that you'll die. They like to eat grass and sages. There are currently 20 million to 30 million in North America. None of the bison are pure wild bison anymore. They have to be on preserves to be protected because we killed them off because we like their fur and their horns, unfortunately. They roam. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, I was just going to point out the fact that there was bison here in Vermilion even at one point, so we could be potentially sitting where bison's at.
They don't sit. They lay down and they stand.
Okay, they lay it down and stand.
You say,
But
liar.
Thank
I've
you,
never
Roger.
seen one sit like a dog.
if we train a bison to sit like a dog, I will pay you. Anyways,
Yeah, so basically the only places they live is the Black Hills and Yellowstone. They like to roam for great distances, and they like move around while they eat. The bulls typically wander off on their own, and the cows stick together. and the bulls will come back till when it's mating season. And they adapt very well to cold weather and hot.
You probably need it in South Dakota because
Yeah, because
South
it's a
Dakota.
temperate grassland. We talked about this earlier. It's extreme cold and extreme heat. Now we have the burrowing owl. Owls are my favorite animal. They like to live in grassland, pastures, prairie dog colonies, and places with burrowing animals. It's named burrowing owl. I'm guessing they live underground. They like to eat beetles, insects, small mammals, small birds.
they don't actually eat prairie dogs though. They just like the bugs. Like the small mammals is actually mice. They don't actually eat bigger mammals. They just like the bugs that the prairie dogs scare out of the holes and collect.
That's nice.
It's fun
There are
fun.
only 10,000 breeding pairs left. They are endangered animals. I read a book about it. It's called Hoot. They live in Canadian prairie all the way down to South America. They're brown with spotted feathers, bright yellow eyes, white eyebrows, and one of the smallest owls in North America. Fact: they build nests mostly out of mammal poop. That's just a leaf fact. Now we're gonna talk about some plants. Who doesn't love
Grass.
plants?
Everybody loves plants.
Steven grows grass for a living.
I do grow grass. It's a pretty cool job. I could go into detail about that, but I'm not going to.
Thank you for saving our sanity.
Anyways, my first grass I'm going to talk about is pampas. It likes to live in hot grassy plains and grows in most areas. It can get up to 8 to 12 feet tall. I mean,
Is it
that's
the
pretty
elephant
tall.
grass stuff?
It is like elephant grass, but it's
Is it different?
I think it's different.
You should know this. You grow
It
grass
is.
for a
It
living.
is different. And it's able to adapt quickly, hence why it lives in temperate grasslands because of extreme conditions. But it can also live in many different areas. And it's mostly common in South America. We don't have too much of it up here, but it's a pretty cool grass. Next, we got the blazing star. Sadly, it's not grass. It's a plant. It's a pretty plant, but that can get up to 5 feet tall. And it likes to grow in tall prairie grass. So it would like our pampas grass over here. It's thick strands on damp prairies. It's found from Minnesota south, so it wouldn't actually be next to the pampas grass. It grows up here, but it's used mostly for prairie restoration besides the fact it's just growing out here anyways. And then it's a pretty hardy native herb they use, so you can use it for different medicines and things too, I read. So at the coneflower, this is also a flower, and they use that as an immune system booster. So not medicine. That does not take a witch doctor to make. It has pretty showy flowers. Ooh, so pretty, so you can take them. And
Color the flowers.
they are pink, white, or reddish purple. Reddish purple is actually more rare, but it's pretty cool. And this plant is also used for prairie restoration. Birds like its seeds. Must be a pretty tasty plant, so after you give the flowers to your mom, you can throw them outside and the birds will eat the seeds. Birds like seeds.
Because mom just throws her flowers out the window.
You don't throw weeds.
Throw them out the window.
But anyways, the plant likes to attract its insects and butterflies. So you get to see the butterflies, you can give it to your mom, you get to feed the birds. I mean, this is all around plant. And it boosts your immune system, so you don't have to take those nasty vitamins. Next, we got the rock rose. It's a shrubby little plant that's warm season herb. Oh, it's a verb.
Fern.
Bird. There we go. I know what I'm doing here. Anyways, it can grow 2 to 4 feet tall. I mean, it's not that necessarily that tall, but you can hide your small children in it when the cops are chasing you down. And it's mostly found common in Texas, so like I said, that use of hiding your children in it will be very handy for them. It likes well-drained, medium-textured soil, so Texas is perfect land for that. The whole desert is an all desert, but it's pretty dry. Oh, I don't hide that many children in the grass. But yeah, that's the rock rose. It's a cool plant. Kidnap anyone.
Those are your sides, because we like to switch things up.
I get it. Nice.
I'm funny.
She is.
So now we're going to talk about the relationships in the temperate grasslands. The first example is predation. A black-footed ferret preys upon the little ground squirrel by stalking it and then pouncing on it. Roger, that's horrible.
The grass was so. I'll talk about parasitism because that is so sad and scary. I mean, yeah, we got a tapeworm that's living inside a deer. The deer doesn't instantly die by getting its head ripped off. No, it has a tapeworm lives inside
No, it
deer
just slowly
stomach.
starves to death because the tapeworm's eating everything inside its guts.
I didn't know what it all was. Great.
Well, it takes a lot of food and it starves.
So it lives inside stomach and starves to death. Thank you. Anyways, at least the tapeworm lives until the deer dies, and no one wins.
And then it shits out the tapeworm babies, and then something along picks it up. And then there's more tapeworms and animals. That's how they spread.
Yeah, that's not a fun fact. That's a scary fact. But there's some
Now we're going to talk about mutualism.
What's that?
The bacteria and the bison are ox. There are bacteria in bison or ox. The bacteria help break down the grasses in the animal. The animal eats, and it feeds the bacteria, helping the animal digest, and it feeds the bacteria.
So you're saying that if I was to be a big bison walking around out there, and I'm eating all this grass and I can't digest it fast enough, I'll have these little guys inside me helping me eat that stuff?
Mm-hmm. You actually have similar bacteria in your own gut that does the same thing. Except not grass.
Never mind. Anyways, we got commensalism. But that's a big plant giving shade to a little plant. So a little plant doesn't like burn up right away. It also protects it from like really hot winds, or we got like it'll protect it from grazing too. Like the bison will come off and like eat the top of the big plant, but the little plant will sit down there and like hide like a little ground squirrel. So it's a plant, so it doesn't really have a choice. Anyways, only one person wins in this, but hey, that's not hurting anybody else except the fact that I'm like using somebody to get taking advantages of big plants. Got it. Anyways.
Yep. And then you have competition. It's like bison and ox eating grass, and then there's only so much grass, and then they have to like compete to get their food.
I can come up with some like sod farm. No, not that type of grass. Got it. Yeah, okay.
That is it for relationships. Now let's talk about some interesting facts. There's 12 of them because some of them don't count.
I want to hear these interesting facts. You gotta
Do
find
you
the two
really?
fake ones.
I think that's
So-
easy to spot.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I can't figure that.
Only 2% of the original grasslands in North America still exist today.
Well, that's pretty sad. Do I make up to that 2% in my sod farm?
No, that isn't grassland. That's
Grass on land.
That's land that is grass.
Yeah.
it's not like actual grassland. It's not like
So, I'm also saying that we got fires that are important to keep invasive species out. Because if we got too many wild plants growing around here that aren't from around here, they're gonna like kill off everything. We gotta burn these off once in a while. But they're wildfires, so we're not actually being the pyros that why it is. And
25% of land on Earth is grassland.
oh, that's a pretty interesting fact. I didn't know that. And there's more than one species of grass on the grassland, as we mentioned earlier. It's not just pampas grass. There's many others. Like you can look outside your window and see. Except you're in town probably, so don't actually do that. You should probably go visit.
How many kinds of grass are in your sod?
We have 5 just in our sod alone. So I mean, just the grasslands.
And
That's
it all just looks
crazy.
like grass to me. You can watch grass grow for fun. That's what we do here.
South Dakota. We also got tall grass prairie. Tall grass prairie. It's considered to be an endangered ecosystem because obviously there's only 2% left of grassland alone. And that's not
Just
even
in
tall
North America,
grassland.
but North America.
Just North America. Sorry, that was North America.
There's a
But
couple other kinds of grass, types of grass prairies that aren't endangered.
tall grass is.
Grasslands are typically located between forests and deserts.
It's pretty cool. I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense.
It goes trees, grass, and then desert. Nothing.
There's nothing in the desert, Roger. I'm sorry to tell you.
Okay.
We also learned that wildfires can spread more than 10 feet per second. I mean, that's really that's a lot of fire. That's not funny.
That's on grassland, open grassland. Grasslands have the best soil. Some good dirt. That's why they like to plow all the grass up and plant corn and soybeans and
I'm not the bad guy here. I grew.
And
okay,
alfalfa.
never mind.
alfalfa's cool.
Hey, at least you're not dying of starvation. So it's either the grasslands or the human.
You cut
Relation.
alfalfa 3 times a year.
We do.
Fun
Sometimes
fact.
4. Another fun fact is in grasslands, all the people wear corn stalks. Nothing else, just corn stalks. This is made out of corn stalks.
It's good for the environment.
It is.
Don't know. It's funny. Okay. There's more than one type of grassland. We're doing a temperate grassland, but there's also tropical grasslands.
So keep that in mind when you're talking about grasslands, because we are not in charge of teaching people about other grasslands except temperate, because science. So I'm sitting with dinner here. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, I don't know. Anyways, he came back in a different life as a prairie chicken now. And he had some important facts to me. To survive in these temperate grasslands, these very harsh conditions, with winters going down to -40 and summers with 100+ degrees Fahrenheit, takes some tough animals out there to survive all that. If you're a tough animal, join us now. Alright, Edgar, say what you wanted me to say. Yes, I know. Anyways, animals do have to be tough out in these temperate grasslands because we got flash floods and wildfires and severe droughts. They have to have the brain of a prairie chicken to be able to relocate and find other sources of food. They also have to be hardy so they can adapt quickly and stand harsh conditions. Like Edgar here. I'm going to talk about some threats and solutions today, all by myself. Anyways, one of the first threats we have is global warming. I mean, that's going to change rainfall patterns. So, I mean, the grasslands could potentially be deserts or jungles or whatever. I mean, it's just stuff. Like we talked about earlier, we both believe global warming's a thing, but some people don't. It's just whatever you like. But what I'm reading off of says global warming, so I'm going to stick with that. And then the agriculture that's happening on the grasslands. I mean, it once used to be all prairie and stuff, but now it's starting to become row crop agriculture. And it's being converted to row crops. That's good and bad. It's bad for the prairies because there won't be much natural prairie left, but the humans won't be able to survive unless we have our food.
And
So-
some animals benefit from it.
and some animals do benefit from it. They adapt because they're hardy animals. And then urban areas also affect this because we're building cities, and that also cuts into the grassland habitats. I mean, anywhere you build cities is going to cut into the habitats. Some drought-hardy, cold-resistant, and herbicide-tolerant varieties of soybeans, wheat, and corn allow crops to expand into native grasslands. That's great and all for farming, but you won't have any grasslands left. You'll just have wild corn. It's not even natural. It's just going to be crazy corn going everywhere. How would you like to have your backyard with crazy corn growing in it?
I would love it.
Only. Anyways,
Well, technically, your backyard isn't grassland because you've mowed it and it's short grass. And most of the times it's grass seed, so it's not native grass anyways. You
Right.
should know that.
I do know that. I'm just saying, like, if there's gonna be wild corn growing everywhere, or it would be like, we're getting off topic. Anyway, some solutions to these problems. The global warming can continue the education and the efforts on how to prevent the soil and prevent soil erosion. That's not a global warming effect, I learned. That is just some things how to prevent our grasslands from getting crazy. Thank you. We can also protect and restore wetlands, which are an important part of grassland ecology, because otherwise the animals can't survive without water. Like us, we kind of need water. We can rotate agricultural crops to prevent the sapping of nutrients. That's why we rotate soybeans and corn, because the corn will suck all the nutrients out of the ground, nitrogen to be precise. The soybeans put it back in. That's why we rotate them. We can also plant trees as windbreaks so the dirt doesn't fly everywhere. If you didn't learn anything from the dust ball, yeah, big dust ball. Anyways, dust bowl, that's why. And we can conduct dry season burning to obtain fresh growth and restore calcium that the soil builds up in the dry grasses. More nutrients to the soil. Or you can just plant soybeans everywhere, but that doesn't give you all the nutrients you need anyways. So, yes.
Habitat is the place where an organism usually lives.
A community is a group of species that live in the same habitat and interact with each other.
Ecosystem is a community of organisms in their abiotic environment.
A biome is a large region characterized by a specific type of climate and certain types of plant and animal communities.
A biosphere is the part of the Earth's crust, water, and the atmosphere that supports life.
Abiotic factors are an environmental factor that is not associated with the activities of living organisms.
Biotic factors are an environmental factor that is associated or results from the activities of living organisms.
According to Edgar, biodiversity is a number of variety of organisms in a given area during a specific period of time.
Competition is a relationship between species that attempt to use the same limited resource.
Mutualism is a relationship between two species in which both species benefit.
Parasitism is a relationship between two species in which one species, the parasite, benefits from the other species, the host, and usually harms the host.
Predation is an interaction between two species in which one species, the predator, feeds on the other species, the prey.
Commensalism is a relationship between two organisms in which one organism benefits and the other is unaffected.
A food chain is the pathway to the energy transfer through various stages as a result of the feeding patterns of a series of organisms.
A food web is a diagram that shows the feeding relationships between organisms in an ecosystem. Edgar is at the top of ours.
Here we have a rare image of the mutant prairie chicken that homes the native robotics clan that lives out in the temperate grasslands. If we watch him, if we can scare him a little bit, maybe he'll move. Ah! Ah! No, don't kill the bird! He has a bow tie even, and wheels. He's a beautiful mutant prairie chicken. Get out of here, Roger.